Hello, my loves. Hello, beautiful people. I wanted to make a video about frustration and anger because sometimes we're not always feeling the best. I had one of those days this morning and I was like, I'm going to make a video on this. So it's kind of going to be short and sweet for the most part because I really want to give guidance to people who feel like they really struggle with when they are frustrated or angry because we're not happy all the time. So with that being said, I am actually going to give you some guidance using the dialectical behavioral therapy kind of approach, in which we've talked about, I think, in one of my other videos, just to see if this helps you out instead of the, oh, well, just change your mind and think about it another way. Forget that. We're going to acknowledge that it's there, which is the dialectical behavioral therapy. We're going to acknowledge that it's there and we are going to get through this. So I'm going to give you guys some tips, some knowledge, and we're going to get into it. So the first thing is obviously we have to acknowledge what has just happened. What has made you super frustrated and how are we going to get this frustration out? I personally recommend one of the first things being, and this is why it's important to have natural supports, but one of the first things being is to call someone to talk about it or to write it down or just get out your frustration, but in a safe manner. I don't mean go kicking stuff, punching stuff, but just to actually let it out. If that means screaming out somewhere or just talking to a friend to vent what has happened in that moment and what exactly are you angry about? Is it how things fell out, the result of something, or the fact that this wasn't supposed to happen, or you anticipated something happened differently, or if it's a particular person that did something just that pissed you off? Because those things happen. Now, while you were trying to figure out while you're upset, I do want you to think about and hopefully follow through with not being crappy to other people. Because we all have bad days. Sometimes we take it out on people, but should we really take it out on other people? No. So just in that moment, if you can put yourself in a space where you are upset, but you're doing it in a safe manner and you're not affecting other people around you, that's obviously the best option that I would suggest. But let's start off first by acknowledging why exactly are we upset? What part about it really pisses you off? After you were able to acknowledge what made you so frustrated or upset in that moment, I want you to think about the three type of mind states that you could possibly end at this point, which could be the emotional mind, the wise mind, or the reasonable mind. Now, out of these three mind states, people will typically gravitate towards one of these three. And I can say out of the polls that were taken, most times it's on the emotional mind and on the reasonable mind. Now, those are on two different ends of the spectrum, which is normal for people. We will go to the extremes rather than find that happy medium. Now, with the emotional mind, this is where you are so overwhelmed and frustrated with emotion, you let it control your behavior. You become impulsive. You have little regard for the consequences that come after in the moment because you were so upset. If that sounds like you are in the emotional mind state, baby, and it's not going to work for you. It is going to leave you in a more detrimental place than you are already in. It's going to make your situation worse. So I need you to put that in your head. If you are an emotional person and you're listening strictly to your emotions, you are going to be in a more worse place. That was terrible grammar, but you know what I mean. And then there is the reasonable mind. Now, with the reasonable mind, that is on the completely other end. You are basing strictly your decisions and what you do next off of fact. Now, that sounds like a good thing, but if you think about it, when you are basing your decisions on facts, you kind of neglect yourself in a way. You don't take into account how you feel. Sometimes the best decision as far as mathematical or practicality is not always the best feeling decision for you. which is where the wise mind comes into state and puts the two together. So I know it's really hard in the moment when you are so upset that you don't know what to do, and you're either having your emotional mind ring one thing in your ear to destroy the things around you or cuss somebody out, or if you have the reasonable mind in your other ear to say, just do this. This is what makes sense. This is where we're going to go. And it's not atoning to what you need in that moment. So take a breath, take a beat, and realize that you need to find somewhere in the middle. You need to use your wise mind, which is a mesh of both, to give you the best possible outcome. Now, that's easier said than done, obviously, because you are in a really frantic state right now. So I want to go over things that'll help you, coping skills, that'll help you in that moment to help you get to the place where you can utilize your wise mind. So I personally suggest sensory coping skills because they physically get you where you need to be. So let's talk about them. So for visual, let's start off with that. Try puzzles. I have a lot of people who have done puzzles, and because it takes that mental stimulation from you and you looking at a puzzle, sometimes the things that you're frustrated with just literally fade away. If you're not at home, there's like apps that you can put on your phone to do puzzles, or if that doesn't work, put on TikTok. I mean, everybody almost got TikTok nowadays. You would think it's for people who are young if you are older, but honestly, TikTok is a place for everyone. So I suggest getting on TikTok and seeing something comical, something funny to you, just to get your mind off of what is happening in that moment, because we are trying to remain calm. We're trying to get in our wise mind, and we cannot do that if our emotional mind is overpowering us, or if the reasonable mind is overpowering us. So with that being said, when you are using your visual senses, let that be watching TikTok, doing puzzles, something that just requires your concentration and to move you out of what you are looking at in that moment. Now, hearing. Of course, people always say, listen to music, something that soothes you. This can be something that reminds you of a time and place wherever you were happy. Sorry, guys. A time and a place wherever you were happy. Just to put you in a better state. If we're talking about smells, people always offer, essential oils and, or scents like perfumes, something that reminds you of like your grandmother, if that was a person that you would always go to for comfort, or a significant other, or your best friend, something that can really put you at ease. It don't even have to be a person. It can literally just be the smell of lavender. I know I talked about in my self-care video that I will tag above, coffee. I don't know what it is about coffee smell, but it's something about it that just puts me at ease. So when I feel like I'm having a moment for whatever reason, I will do something, but I will also put the smell of coffee on. Like it just, anyway, coffee, like that works for me. Smells, candles. Let's talk about for your touch, you can do where maybe it's considered taste, but you can put your hands in something cold or something warm, or, like touch something that's gooey. I also said like chewing, no, that's taste. I also said like putting something, like drinking something cold. That works for me because if you think about it, when you are super frustrated, you're getting hot, you're getting like angry, to get a popsicle, drink a milkshake, drink your favorite, like something cold to just calm you down in that moment. And then last but not least, also chewing gum. And then last but not least, touch. That's where you can like ball your hands together and kind of just like put all the pressure in your hands, or I'm about to say touch something squishy in that moment to kind of just get your mind off of what's happening. I think those are like the only touch things that I can think about right now. But those are some of the sensory coping skills that I have seen work with my kids, that I've actually used myself, and hopefully they work for you. So guys, when you are getting angry, just remember that you need to be in a wise state of mind to make the right choice, because at the end of the day, unlike cognitive behavioral theory where they want us to look on the bright side and like think of new ways to approach the situation, let's change our outlook. Dialectical behavioral therapy is like, look, this is happening right now and I just need to manage it. Like, I am very well aware that this is happening and I'm pissed off. So let's just acknowledge it for what it is and keep it moving. So with that being said, acknowledge your experience, acknowledge what exactly is making you frustrated, choose to be in the wise mind state. And then if you need to get there and you're having problems getting there, use a sensory coping skill. Find your thing. What I suggested are just things that I've noticed worked for general people, but find your own thing. It's okay. We're going to get through this. So I hope these tips helped you out in some sort of way, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any additional, or if you've tried any of these things and they have worked. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.